The Princess and the Tin Box by James Thurber. Once upon a time, in a far country, there lived a king whose daughter was the prettiest princess in the world. Her eyes were like the cornflower, her hair was sweeter than the hyacinth, and her throat made the swan look dusty. From the time she was a year old, the princess had been showered with presents. Her nursery looked like Cartier's window. Her toys were all made of gold or platinum or diamonds or emeralds. She was not permitted to have wooden blocks or china dolls or rubber dogs or linen books, because such materials were considered cheap for the daughter of a king. When she was 7, she was allowed to attend the wedding of her brother and throw real pearls at the bride instead of rice. Only the nightingale with his lyre of gold was permitted to sing for the princess. The common blackbird with his boxwood flute was kept out of the palace grounds. She walked in silver and samite slippers to a sapphire and topaz bathroom, and slept in an ivory bed inlaid with rubies. On the day the princess was 18, the king sent a royal ambassador to the courts of 5 neighboring kingdoms to announce that he would give his daughter's hand in marriage to the prince who brought her the gift she liked the most. The first prince to arrive at the palace rode a swift white stallion, and laid at the feet of the princess an enormous apple made of solid gold, which he had taken from a dragon who had guarded it for 1,000 years. It was placed on a long ebony table set up to hold the gifts of the princess's suitors. The second prince, who came on a gray charger, brought her a nightingale made of 1,000 diamonds, and it was placed beside the golden apple. The third prince, riding on a black horse, carried a great jewel box made of platinum and sapphires, and it was placed next to the diamond nightingale. The fourth prince, astride a fiery yellow horse, gave the princess a gigantic heart made of rubies and pierced by an emerald arrow. It was placed next to the platinum and sapphire jewel box. Now the fifth prince was the strongest and handsomest of all the 5 suitors. But he was the son of a poor king, whose realm had been overrun by mice and locusts and wizards and mining engineers, so that there was nothing much of value left in it. He came plodding up to the palace of the princess on a plough horse, and he brought her a small tin box filled with mica and feldspar and hornblende, types of ordinary rocks, which he had picked up on the way. The other princes roared with disdainful laughter when they saw the tawdry gift the fifth prince had brought to the princess. But she examined it with great interest and squealed with delight, for all her life she had been glutted with precious stones and priceless metals, but she had never seen tin before, or mica, or feldspar, or hornblende. The tin box was placed next to the ruby heart pierced with an emerald arrow. Now the king said to his daughter, "You must select the gift you like best and marry the prince that brought it." The princess smiled and walked up to the table and picked up the present she liked the most. It was the platinum and sapphire jewel box, the gift of the third prince. "The way I figure it," she said, "is this. It is a very large and expensive box, and when I am married I will meet many admirers who will give me precious gems with which to fill it to the top. Therefore it is the most valuable of all the gifts my suitors have brought me, and I like it the best." The princess married the third prince that very day in the midst of great merriment and high revelry. More than 100,000 pearls were thrown at her, and she loved it. Moral: all those who thought that the princess was going to select the tin box filled with worthless stones instead of one of the other gifts will kindly stay after class and write 100 times on the blackboard, "I would rather have a hunk of aluminum silicate than a diamond necklace." From Fables for Our Time, that was The Princess and the Tin Box by James Thurber. I'm James Denos. Thank you for listening.